kindergartners. Okay, write in your Stretchy the Snake words. B-A-T, B-I-T, and this one's our tricky one for our sentence today. B-A-C-K. So write those in and then press pause, unpause when you're ready to read them with me. Okay, I'm going to stretch them out. B-at, bat. B-it, bit. And then this one, kindergartners, before we read, do you see the CK? I put them in the same box because when they're next to each other, they make the same sound. Just one time. K. So like we do cut and we do karate chop, it's the same. Together, they just make one k. So if I sound it out, it's going to be b-a-k, back. So I went back to get something. So my sentence is, I went back to the park for my toy. And then I practiced my letter from last week, R, and our star word from last week, with. All right, I'm going to give you a quick number to make. Remember, you're going to need to press pause and write your sentence. Make sure you do good writing. On the back today, I want you to write the number 11. See how fast you can write that. Remember that 11 is 1 10 and one more. See how fast you can make that number. When you're done, don't forget that you need to do your reading. Cannot forget, that's a very important part of morning jobs. And then I need you to go grab your writing paper because today we are going to learn to write the letter B. B. That is our letter this week. So you can either go grab your big writing paper with the big lines on one side and the small lines on the back, or you can go back and erase the front part of your board and do your practice there. Okay, guys. Uppercase B. It's not too tricky, especially since you've been learning so many letters this year so far. We are not going to need that worm line for the uppercase B or lowercase b. So cross it off. All right, here I go. I'm going to start at the skyline. Skyline to grass line, pick up. I'm going to go back to the sky and I'm going to curve around once, like I almost made a P. And then I'm going to curve around another time and touch the grass. There's my uppercase B. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go skyline to grass line, pick up, back to the skyline, curve around to the plane line, then curve around to the grass line. Make sure the upper part of your B is touching the sky. Make sure the bottom part of your B is touching the grass. All right, let me do one more, and then we're going to do lowercase b. Skyline to grass line, pick up, go back to the sky, curve around, touch the plane line, curve around, touch the grass line.
Ooh, that's your best one.
That is. I'm going to circle that one. That was my best one. All right, you practice some uppercase B's, and then when you're ready, you can unpause, and we're going to do lowercase b. All right, I'm going to cross off the worm line again because lowercase b does not need the worm line. Now, lowercase b and lowercase d look really similar, but remember, one's going to be going one way and one goes the other way. So b is going to go this way, d goes that way. And we write them a little bit different. So for our lowercase d, because we read left to right, when we did D, we did our best O, and then we did our line down. That was our D. It's facing that way. We write left to right. So we did the O and then the line. D is the opposite. We need to do the line first, straight line down, skyline to grass line. And then you're going to pick up your pen and go back to the plane line and curve around to the grass line. So that's one easy way to remember when you're writing your B or your D. If you start with the O and put the line down, you know you're making a D because you're going left to right. If we're doing B, we still have to go left to right. We have to do the straight line first, skyline to grass line, go back to the plane line, curve around, touch the grass line. All right, I'm going to do Another couple of those. Skyline to grass line, pick up, go back to the plane line, curve around, touch the grass line. Skyline to grass line, pick up, go back to the plane line, curve around, touch the grass. All right, kindergartners, I think you're ready to turn it over and use the small lines. Make sure your B's are going the correct way. So I'm going to turn it over here. I'm going to cross off the worm line. I'm going to do some uppercase B's, skyline to grass line, pick up, curve around to the plane line, curve around to the grass line. Skyline to grass line, curve around, curve around. Make sure it's touching the top of the skyline and the bottom of the grass line. And remember, letters, we're not going to go from the top up. We're going to go from the, we're not going to go from the bottom up. We're going to go from the top down. So I'm going to make sure I do that the correct way. Skyline to grass line, pick up, go back to the sky, curve around, curve around. Skyline, curve around, curve around. You'll keep practicing. Now I'm going to do some lowercase b's. I need to make sure I do the line first. Skyline to grass line, pick up, back to the plane line, curve around. Straight line, then back to the plane line, curve around. Skyline to grass line, pick up, plane line, curve around. You keep going, do the whole page, get some really good practice in.